I'm here today to talk about Detour for rodents and insects, and I'm not someone who's paid to do it. I don't own the company. I'm here because I've used the product over the last 5-6 years. The product works, and I use it in a professional capacity. I've been licensed by the State of California Structural Pest Control Board since 1989, so I've got a little more than 25 years in. And in that 25 years, I've been in every type of environment imaginable. You name the structure, I've been in it. Name the bug, I've gotten rid of it. And, you know, the product that we're talking about right now, at first, I thought it was a gimmick. This was about 5-6 years ago. And I've seen a lot of what I call gimmicks come down the pike in 25 years. And most recently, you have the botanicals. You know, it's something that smells and will rid your place of rodents. It has a very limited area of use. Yes, it'll work in a closet or a small confined space, but once you have it opened up in a barn situation or a large garage, even your standard house, garage, it's great to keep them out of a box of Christmas stuff. But how about keeping them from running all over your workspace and your washer and dryer? And it doesn't really work well in those open areas. And, I don't go looking for gimmicks. I usually find them because a homeowner or a business owner has called us out to their establishment, and we get there, and they say, I'm at my wit's end. I've used everything, and look, I spent $50 on this stuff, and it didn't work. So I find the zappers, electric boxes, the sonic repellents, and all kinds of stuff. They come, and invariably I see them go. And so 5-6 years ago, I get a tube of the Detour for rodents and insect. And back then, it was geared towards pigeons. But I kept that thing. It just sat in my car for about 2 months until I came across a situation where somebody they needed an immediate action. They needed something right now. The pigeons were just making a complete mess. Somebody had slipped and fell in front of their place because of the mess that the pigeons made. And I said, I think I may have a solution. Let me get this. And I got it, and I applied it, and I crossed my fingers that please work. Don't let me down. And 2 days, problem solved. I was amazed. It got rid of their problem. I was able to charge, because I didn't charge them at first. I said, look, let's see if this works. If it works, then you'll get my bill. So the product worked. That was my first encounter with it. Since then, the industry has found that we could use it for rodents. It was working on rodents. And then later on, it was working on cockroaches. Later on, it's working on squirrels, possums, just about anything that walks or crawls. This thing will repel or destroy. And it's not a pesticide. It's not an insecticide. This thing is food grade, NSF approved. For those of you who don't know, it's fancy lingo for National Sanitation Foundation. But these are the people that say what's safe to use in a restaurant or food production environment. And that's the other thing. I mean, as pest control operators, you're not allowed to tell anybody that what you're using is safe because it's a pesticide. It's a chemical. We get that all the time. I've got a little baby. Is this safe for my kids? Is this safe for my dogs? I have a cat. I mean, people's pets are their family. And, we can't diminish that, but we cannot tell them that any product in our vehicle is a safe product because even though we use it in a safe manner, we just can't say it. I can say that with the Detour. When I'm in a place and they ask me, is this safe to use here? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And that's the nice part about it, because you can use it just about anywhere. It works in just about any situation. And where it trumps even traditional pesticides, traditional pesticide will last maybe 35, 45 days. Most situations, 2-3 weeks, and it's done. The Detour, I've put this thing down, and it has lasted most recently in a retail situation outside. We put it out for pigeons on signage. 2 years later, still working, still keeping the things away. Used it in restaurants. where, especially here in California, we have a lot of eco-minded people, and we worry about those things. Nationwide, you got people that they don't want to use insecticides, they don't want to use poisonous bait. The federal EPA have just come through and said, you know what, second generation rodenticides, no more in the hands of consumers. What that is just a single feeding bait. The rodent eats the poison, he only needs one feeding to get a lethal dose, and he dies. The problem is secondary poisoning. So the mice, the rats eat the poison block, the crow eats the mouse, the crow dies. We don't want that, so they've taken that out of the hands of the consumer, leaving us with the first generation, and then implementing more restrictions as to how that's going to go into your hands. So if you're just a normal consumer homeowner going to your big box hardware store to go get some rodenticide, you're going to get the stuff that takes multiple feedings, and then you don't just get the poison, but you have to buy a bait station to lock it up in. So the cost is considerably higher now, and the efficacy is dropped, dramatically. So what this means is, there's just going to be a higher population of rodents out there, and it's going to be more work for exterminators, which is great for us, But if somebody wants to do it themselves, this is the product that's going to do it. It's not going to, you don't have to worry about, and as far as the pest part of it, the insect part, cockroaches and things like that, there are things on the market right now that are being blamed for the bee kill-off. There's a big drop-off, bees are dying, and it's because of a specific type of pesticide being used. Well, it'd be nice to be able to use products that aren't pesticides to get rid of your cockroaches, your ants, and things that can be put out in the environment that aren't going to be a danger to your children or your dogs, your cats, your birds, whatever. So this has been a remarkable product. Back to that environmentalist thing, here in California, an area in Los Angeles called the West Side, Santa Monica area, Venice, there's a lot of eco-friendly restaurants, and they want to use sustainable, initiatives to, their cleaning products, everything. They want to be green everywhere, or the food is organic. So they don't really want to introduce pesticides into that environment. And I've used this product in restaurants of that sort where every day, one in particular, the poor guy, every day his storeroom was hit by rats. Every single day. There was a structural deficiency he could not overcome. He tried everything he could, but they just kept hitting him. I did not charge him. I said, I have. I didn't say I think I have. I told him I have a solution. Let me apply this, and I'm going to get back to you over the weekend, at the end of the weekend, and you tell me. Put it out on a Friday morning. Monday, he says, Sunday I got no hits. So the product was in there on a Friday, worked Friday night, Saturday night. He says, what we usually do when we come in, we encounter rodent droppings, we clean it up. We don't want the health department to come in and find this. By Sunday, we had nothing. Leave the product in all week, nothing, all week. No product damage, nothing. So I put them on service, not only for the rodents, but we started using it for the larger cockroaches, the American cockroaches, people call them sewer roaches. And they were infiltrating his building at the front. And once we put it in his metal doorway, it stopped it inside of 72 hours. So we covered him, all of his pest pressures, inside of 1 week were remedied with something that was not a chemical. Not a chemical. You don't have to worry about, anything contamination-wise. I can use it right next to a cook line. You can use it in your sink at home, under the sink. You don't have to worry about it. If you get a little bit on your hands, it'll wash off with cold water and a mild soap. You don't have to call poison control because, I got some on my lip, and you're worried you're poisoned. It doesn't work that way. The stuff is phenomenal. It works. It lasts a good amount of time. I think that if this is, I've always been told, and there's statistics showing this, that most pesticide poisonings are committed by do-it-yourselfers, not professionals like myself. It's the homeowner who's incorrectly using a product, over applying a product, and then next thing you know, and they gauge that, I guess, through calls to poison control. You know, they over applied, and now that they've got a reaction, there's a rash on them, or maybe it's causing heart palpitations, and it's a call to poison control. You know, it doesn't really happen in my field. I've been around for a long time. I don't know any technicians, and I've known quite a few. I don't know any that have ever called poison control because they did something. Only time I ever hear of a spill is if a service vehicle gets in an accident. So most of this is your homeowner, your do-it-yourselfer. So I think, people owe it to themselves to try a product like this. They're going to find out that it works, and it works well, and it works over an extended period of time. And I'll tell you, back to that botanical earlier, people are spending whatever, $15, $20 on this box of stuff, and it'll last about 30 days if they use all the packages in there, and they got to go back and buy another, for the next month and the next month, and pretty soon they've spent over $100 to take care of their place for a year, and still they have the issues, So the product works, it continues to work, and that's why I'm here, because I believe in it, and I think everybody should be using it.